Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom, where we talk about all things reality TV and more. I am Pharaoh. I'm your host today, and I'm so excited to be talking about the Survivor 42 cast. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be wonderful, and I am joined by my wonderful, wonderful co-host Lee. Lee, go ahead. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Other than the official CBS website not putting the last video, I mean,
Right.
she was pretty, you know, boring.
We'll get into
So I don't really miss it that much. However, I'm excited to finally get into Survivor.
Yes, 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 yes. Usually Survivor doesn't have a lot of preseason things. And so I think this
Exactly.
season they did a little bit better by at least giving us like videos with like a little bit of
Right.
detail. So
And
I'm
I feel
happy.
hype about this cast. Like I feel like the moment I saw it, I was like, oh, like they're casting like regular people now. I feel like
Hmm.
So about a lot of reality shows try so hard to fit a stereotype, and this cast seems like we're just picking people. We're picking fans. We're picking people off the street. Some of them seem like not gonna lie, but it's just a lot of different personalities. I really enjoy that.
Yes, I agree. It just seems refreshing. I feel like the diversity initiative CBS is doing it just makes me feel more excited, I guess, about the season to come.
Exactly.
Like seeing all of the black women, even seeing
There's so many
the
black women. Like
yes, yes,
you love to see that. You love to see that. Like it's so
yes.
great. They have, and Survivor's doing really well because they have great Asian representation. You have Jenny, you have Swati,
Mhm.
they have great black representation. They have great LGBT representation this season.
Mhm.
I mean, there's like what 3 or 4 queer people in the cast. I mean, honestly, like
It's like 4 or 5.
Survivor, like Big Brother, they owe y'all ass because
They don't even ask y'all need to catch up and quick because I don't know what Big Brother is doing.
like it's beautiful to see. Like there's so many personalities you never think would be on Survivor, like in this space, and the fact that they're doing it and
Mhm.
I feel like they're doing it unapologetically, which is great. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
And Survivor has always been a little bit like a little bit better with it. And I just love that we're getting to see a lot of different, I guess, personalities. Like we've never seen this many LGBT people just on a reality show, I feel like, period.
Right.
Like, especially on a
Like
CBS reality show.
like one of the main things, one of the I think his name was Romeo, when he said like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a great LGBT representation." It's like it's great because he doesn't have to be the only one. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
sometimes they usually send people in there and they have to hold their whole community on their backs, and it's so beautiful. Now you're not the only black person. You're not the only black woman. The only
Mm-hmm.
gay man. The only
Mm-hmm.
black man. It's like. Ooh, well, this season there is only one black man, but that's besides the point. He has other black people. That's the point I'm making. Like it's like you're not fully alone in this situation like you otherwise could be.
Yes. And it is only one black man, but there was what, three
There was
last season. So
yeah,
they were able to
four.
spread
There were
the.
4 last
Yeah, there
season.
was 4 last season, so they're able to spread the representation, and so people don't feel this heavy weight of,
Exactly.
it's just a heavy weight that's generally there.
And this is what I'm hoping that Big Brother adopts next because you know just because the cookout was specifically 3 black women, 3 black men, you don't have to go with that. We can have 4 black women in one season of Big Brother. What's wrong with that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like I'm hoping they're taking some of this like casting initiative from Survivor. Like we don't have to because I feel like Big Brother they like to stick to a certain archetype, and
Yeah.
like Survivor is just bursting down these boundaries, and I love to see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're here today to talk about the cast and to draft pick the cast,
Ooh.
similarly to what we did with Big Brother. Um,
And
so
I'm probably gonna have the better team,
so you're
similar
probably
to
gonna
like
lose. Also,
Brother.
this.
Well,
Um,
the draft score is 17-10, I
right.
believe. And it's going to be 19-10 after I win
It's
BB
not.
Can and Survivor 42. So
It's not. But
it's not looking
you,
good. Too good for you, Pharaoh.
the
It's really
gag
not.
is, I like being the underdog, and so I let you win those ones, and
Okay, girl.
now,
Okay,
and
girl.
now it's over. So, I'm ready to get into
Promotion.
it. Honestly, bye. I'm ready to get into it. Honestly, I'm ready to start this draft pick. I have my
I
list
guess
here,
you pick first because you're a flop and
and I
you
do
lost
pick
the
first
last
because I
one.
lost the last. Did I lose the last Survivor season? I did, right?
I'm not sure. I would have to leave
I
the
feel like we
thing
should
to go
start doing
check.
that. Don't check.
What?
I'm pretty sure you won with. I mean,
I mean, I am a winner, so.
I'm pretty sure you did win with no. No, it was we didn't draft 41 with Tony. I do think you won, but anyways,
Yeah, I did win with Tony. I did win with Tony.
yeah. So I feel like the last one you did win, so it still would have been me to go first because I guess I keep losing. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and hop into who I wanted to pick, and
Choose wisely, because you're
right
gonna need these points, babe.
here you go. And honestly, this is actually kind of hard. I liked this cast as like a whole when it comes to like the people who I'm willing to pick first in these types of
Mm-hmm.
things. But I'm gonna just stick with my heart. I'm gonna stick with my gut, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick Chanel. So,
It's like
so
I'm mad because you get her because you're a loser. Because
right.
you lost
Uh
the
huh.
last thing, you get the best player this round. Like that's not fair. Like it's really
Well,
not fair. But
but it is, and technically, I still keep losing, so maybe I'm not getting the best player. But okay, I picked Chanel because in her video, it was exuding confidence, but it was also exuding self awareness. She was giving very much so. I know that I'm going to be good at this game, but also very much so. I'm aware of how I need to play the game and how I need to, minimize my target. I don't know. I was just getting a lot of like uh, yes from her. It was just beautiful. The entire video from beginning to end made me feel like this girl is going to be in there, and she's going to be the one who's running things. She's going to be the one who's going to win. She said her favorite or the player she's going to play like is Kim. Girl, hearing that from anybody makes me want to be like, you're that girl. Like, you're going to win. Like, I really think Chanel, she's a super fan. I think she has a lot of game sense. And I don't know, I'm just excited to see where she can go. I really, really liked her. I really, really liked her.
no, I
Thoughts?
really like that too. Because I feel like I love a person who's gonna go in and they know the type of game they're playing. Like she gives me like a Lauren Ashley bag, a very much Chantel, where it's like I know the game I'm going in there to play, and I'm gonna play it harder. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like she gonna be a boss bitch on that island, and I can't wait to
Mm-hmm.
see it. Like she was first on my draft pick for a reason.
Ooh.
She, I feel like, is gonna run this game. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping. Because I can't take another black woman mastermind getting cut at top six and top five. It's been happening a
Ooh.
lot. I mean, it happened with Lauren, it happened with Shan, it happened with Tiffany. Like, how is it gonna happen this summer? I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's just that like that trope just keeps happening, and I'm hoping that she's able to. Because when people see a confident woman, especially a confident black woman who knows what the fuck she's doing, they're gonna be pressed about it. So I just hope that she's able to be able to run them to a point to where they don't feel intimidated by her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because people just for some reason they
Naturally.
see a black woman in power and they just get so scared. Like I hate to sound political, but it's like not even political, but it's just like it's real. Like they don't like seeing a black woman in power. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared for that. But other than that, like I think if she can get past that, she could easily win this game. Like I do think a lot of the cast, more than half of the cast, is lacking a certain game sense, and if they do have it,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. I don't see it for them. But for her, I really see it for her. That's why she's at the top of the list.
That's exactly how I felt. I really, really I just see it for her. Like you said, I just see it for her. I don't think she had, in my opinion, based on, the way the rest of the cast is looking, it was giving
Exactly.
like she has a lot of potential in this cast to really do some damage and really make it far. I don't know. I'm excited. It's just
I'm
making me
excited. Like she's gonna
excited.
eat. She's definitely gonna eat. Like point blank in the period. She's gonna eat.
Period. Okay.
So my next pick
Mhm.
is Miss
I
Tori.
knew
Now,
it.
of course. I picked Tori because she, just like Chantel, said that she wanted to go out there and play like Miss Kim Spradlin. Now,
Mhm.
as long as it's one world Kim Spradlin and not winners at war, both of them are going to succeed. It gives me very much like Chantel. I mean, it gives me very much like Chanel would be like Shan, and then like Loki, Tori is the Evie. Like these are two
Yes.
women. Are they on separate tribes?
I I
Did we
believe
even see that?
I believe they're on separate tribes.
Oh, okay.
I can check
Well,
real quick. I'm not
there's
gonna do
definitely
it.
gonna be a situation where it's like, well, one is the head of one tribe and the other is the head of the other one. I can see a situation like that, and if that's the case, like,
We can look at the
because
tribes
we never
after.
got to see Shan and Evie link up. Like, I want to see them link up at one point and kind of dominate it together. Like, I could see them being a dynamic duo, like, or they're gonna be, wanting to get each other out. Like, honestly, like, obviously the thing hasn't even started, but like, I can see both of them making it really, really far, and that's gonna be interesting because neither one of them will want to sit next to the other. I feel like they're
Mm-hmm.
both very game sense, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think either one has a look up over the other. Like, I feel like I have to talk about them in the same sense because on every one of these casts, these are the top two. Like, one of
Yeah.
these two is the winner. Period.
Yeah.
That's just it. I don't know how to put it, but we're gonna get two women winners in a row because one of these two are winning.
I literally feel the same way. Tori was my second one. I felt very similarly to how I felt with Chanel. It was just they were giving a lot of the same, energy. It was giving Evie and Shan. It really was, and
It was
I really just it just made me excited. But I put Tori second, so you took her from me. But I just think a lot of the same things you said. I love that her favorite character is Kim. I love that she's a. She said she has worked in learning how to be a therapist, so she exactly knows how to build trust, and she had to learn how to build trust and all this other shit. So it's giving me like that she's really going to be able to have control over her tribe,
exactly.
and I feel the same way about Chanel. And it's just like I really think that those two girls are probably going to end up going at it at a point, and that they could be the center of this
It would be
entire
so. It could
season.
be so iconic. It could be so iconic.
It could. I could see them being the center of the season, similar to last season. I really could see it, and I would love it. I don't know. I just really like her. I had a lot of high hopes. I feel very, very much so the same as you. I'm excited. I can't wait to look at the tribes because I kind of do want to see who's gonna be on who tribe and stuff.
Right?
I have a feeling with this draft pick, it's gonna be the opposite of our Big Brother Canada draft pick, and I'm gonna just take all of your people, and you're gonna take all of my people because you just took my
Oh
girl, and I
yeah,
just
we're
took
going
your
to be
girl.
going at it. I think because well,
Oh,
I'm honestly surprised we did do that in Canada, but you saw some things with some girls that we're going to talk about, in our next
bye.
video. But this cast, I feel like it's obvious, like who's the does and who's not. Like, no shade, but
I
it's
kind of
kind of
agree. It
obvious.
might be some. It might be some people here. You're gonna be like, Philip, no, you didn't pick. Okay, my next pick is High. Um,
I thought it was Jay. It's not Jay. It's
mm-mm.
not Jay. Why did I think it was Jay? Did I not? I swear I saw Jay somewhere. That's crazy.
You better pay attention.
Is it maybe like Jay?
He said hi. He said on the video.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm tripping. Okay.
Bye. No, I've seen people spell J like that though with a J A I. So my next pick is High. I the next couple of people I kind of was like in rotation with them, but I settled on High because I feel like High had something about him that gave Cutthroat that I feel like I just didn't see in like the other people who I also think are going to be good players. I think High is in a good age range. He's in the good age range for this cast. He is like at the age where he's the most knowledgeable, I feel, and he's at his peak. I feel like he's going to be able to do well in the competitions or the challenges. I feel like he's going to be very strategic. He said he wanted to play like Todd, I believe. No, he said Parvati. He said he wants to play like Parvati. So it was giving strategist. And I really, really liked that. So I liked that he was trying to be strategic in the game. I liked what he was saying because it made me seem like he was going to be a personable person. I can see a lot of people just getting along with him naturally, and that's going to get him really far. So him being strategical, him getting along with people, him being cutthroat, these are all the things I look for. And honestly, that's just why I picked him. Purr.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like High reminds me of, and I feel like I'm probably gonna do a lot of comparisons to 41, only because I feel like with new by POC rule, it's like it's easy to compare these seasons to each other because a lot of these
The
archetypes we
casting is
have not seen
similar.
before.
Yeah.
And I feel like with High gives me more of like I feel like it's an upside and a downside. I feel like the downside I'll start with first is definitely Dr. Voce from last season. I had high hopes for Voce going into the
Mm.
game. I thought he knew the game. He seemed very intellectual about what he was gonna go in and do. And then he got cut, what was that, second, third? And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that could happen for High. He seems really, really like he knows the game and he's also really confident, but I feel like he could come off as he can come off as a
forward.
threat. Like people can definitely
Yeah.
see him as a threat, and that may be an issue. But the upside to that, I think he could be a Ricard because he does like Ricard had a
Mm-hmm.
nice aggressiveness about him, which I feel like was part of the reason why Ricard was able to get so far because he, like I said, aggressive in his gameplay, and I feel like High can do that, and he
Mm-hmm.
could be in that same potential type of area where Ricard could win. I feel like High potentially could too.
Mm-hmm. I think High is giving me like middle Survivor seasons like energy. He's giving me like the Parvati era energy. I feel like Todd and Parvati, they were playing these really manipulative and mastermind games, and we're backstabbing. I think that's the energy he can give, which isn't how new Survivor. They don't usually win new Survivor seasons, but I still think that that's
Mm-hmm.
just such a naturally good thing in Survivor that it could happen. Um, boom.
Oh, is on the next pick
Yeah.
is Jesus. So my next pick is gonna be Mr. Roxrory. Is that how you say his name? Roxrory? I've never heard that type of name before. Like I like
Roxroy.
that.
Roxroy.
Is that does that mean something? Roxroy?
I don't know,
I
but
hate to
I
do
like
this.
his name actually.
But I picked him because
This is interesting. You
he
did not
seems
steal this.
like I feel like a lot of these first picks are for people I think can win the game. He seems really driven. He'll seem like he'll be able to find himself into a good position. I do think that he seems like someone that could be mistaken as a threat because I feel like I can see him being in a position to where people think he's kind of like running the game, or he feels like he has to step in and move the game forward, and he could be seen as a threat because of that. Because I do, but scroll down, who did you say you want to play like?
John Cochran. It was
John Carter, and
surprising.
that's interesting because I didn't think that really matched his personality. So, and that's what kind of made him so high for me because I was like, I feel like if he had, like, I feel like one of the detriments of John Carter game is that he kind of needed someone who was bigger to act like a shield, whereas with him, he's his own like shield. He can kind of do his own moving around without having to use another force to do so. So
Hmm.
it really depends. I want to see him on the tribe, but I do think it could go one of two ways. Like it's giving early boot or deep
Hmm.
run.
And I feel the same way, which is why I kind of moved him down my list. He was at the top at first, but I moved him down like a few spaces because I felt like I could see a downside for him. I could see him being an early boot, just by happenstance. But I also saw a lot of good things, and he was giving like aware. I felt like he
Yeah.
had a sense of awareness to him that I don't usually see in like his archetype, I guess. And I liked that because I feel like someone with his archetype being aware could do really really good in the game because he's smart, and if he knows that he could be a threat, he knows how to manage that, and that could be really good. So I think this is a good pick. I think he has a lot of upside, but he could also have like a
Yeah.
downside to him. So
And I like what he says in
it's
his like, what do
interesting.
you like? How do you think you could be a soul survivor? He's like, because I'll never forget what I'm playing for my family and the money. It's like he
Mm-hmm.
has a goal and he's driven for it. And I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going out here to fight for my family," or "I'm out here because my family watches the show," things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like they kind of going to have that game sense to actually match that drive, and I feel like he has that.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I like him. I like this pick. I just had him a little bit lower myself.
Literally every pick so far has been my top four. Like everyone, like my
Really?
total top
Okay.
four is gone now.
Yeah. I would have had him four, but I moved him down. Okay, the next person. I think I'm gonna switch these two. This isn't actually the next person, but I had to smush him in because I forgot about him. So I'm just gonna pick the next person, which is Zach. I chose Zach, and
Interesting.
the reason I chose Zach, the reason I choose Zach, I like Zach. I felt like he was smart, he was aware, he was a certain archetype that they sometimes get. But he seemed like he was very much so ready to be the strategic, mastermind who's hidden. He said his favorite this is who said their favorite person was Todd. And I really like that he said his favorite person
Yeah,
was Todd because that
you don't
made
hear
me
that. You really don't hear that.
you don't hear that, and that made me think that first of all he's a super fan, he knows what he's going into, he talked about being self-aware, but it makes me think that he's going to be like sneaky, and someone with his archetype who has the means to be sneaky and strategic, I think usually has a good chance at going far in this game. I think this archetype is actually pretty
Yeah.
good for Survivor. The younger kind of super fan, a little bit nerdy guy, that person can usually get far. Like we were just talking about John Cochran being somebody's favorite. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this archetype is good for Survivor, and I think he could be good at some of the competitions because endurance is usually kind of better for people with his like stance and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I just like the possibilities. He got what was that man named Christian? I'm seeing Christian upside from like a few seasons
mhm.
ago. The nerdy guy. And I like that. I don't know. I'm just excited. It was kind of like a dark horse pick for me, but I really do. I like him.
I will say about Zach, like he was number 6 for me, but I will say my cutoff for I think potential good players is at 8, so it's kind of 6 of 8. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to. The reason why I didn't put him with the people who I feel like are duds of this season is because he does have a game sense, and I do think that I have more faith in him as a player because he seems like he knows what he's getting into. However, my thing about him is I don't think he's going to have the he's not going to be able to wield the control that I think he wants.
Mhm.
He's 22, probably doesn't have that much life experience. He also mentioned that he doesn't know how he's going to do well in the physical things, and he's going to have to rely on the puzzle. Well, if
Mhm.
it gets to a point where you rely on the puzzle, you're already not in that many social connections, and you lose said puzzle, you can be right out the door. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like that strategy of like, oh, I'm going to get the big meat shield. It does work, and it works for a lot of people who fit the stereotype. But it's like
Mhm.
I feel like that being his only angle scares me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's not going to be able to control, especially a 8-person tribe. Like he doesn't have a place to
Six
hide. I
person
feel like
trial.
his archetype is a player that gets to hide and wait out a bit. And
Yeah.
because it's an 8-person tribe, where are you going to hide at? You're going to have to get on that tribe and start working immediately to try to get what some big meat shield. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like he's going to have to prove himself because
Yeah.
the earliest eliminations almost always come down to competition, which sucks, but it's like it does
Mhm.
come down to that. And if he doesn't have the ability to control the people as he's saying that he might be able to, then he's gonna be screwed because what other strategy do you have? Like
Yeah.
it sucks because he's a super fan and I can tell that he really, really wants to play and he seems really excited for it. But I'm scared for him. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really scared.
I feel
I do think
like
if he
yeah.
no,
No, you think he'd be what?
I do feel like the upside, like I do see it potentially happening for him. It just kind of he kind of have to put his money where his mouth at. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like I have a good sense of sniffing out the people who kind of just are not gonna be able to do all the things they say they're gonna do, and he
Mhm.
is definitely one of those people for me.
Yeah.
But if Hail Mary it happens, then he could win, and that's why he's number 6
I think the
for me on my
layout
list.
of the new Survivor game, how the tribes are so small, is good for him because I think it'll
Mm-hmm.
force him to not hide. I think it'll force him to go in and play a little bit harder. I also noticed last season, which is the first season they did that, it prevented people from looking at challenges so much because Tiffany was a flop at challenges. But because the tribes
True.
were so small, it incentivized the tribe to be like, we can't be getting out the people just because they bad at challenges. We kind
Loyalty,
of gotta, yeah, we kind of gotta
even
strategize. And
and also his loyalty.
I feel like he's able to, since he knows the game and since he wants to be a strategist, he might be one of the two people on the tribe who's able to actively strategize because the tribe is small. I think that's just me being hopeful, but also I think it has some type of sense to it, and I think that it could force him into hurrying up and being a strategist instead of trying to hide behind somebody early. So we can see, I feel like I feel like he's going to be someone I'm interested to see. He could either flop or he could just be really really interesting. He also could end up on a tribe that's just wins the whole first four, whatever, the
Yeah,
first couple ones. So then what? And
honestly.
him in merge is gonna be, I think that's gonna be intense if he gets to
And
merge.
if he gets to merge, he could be someone like he can become a floater at that point and just
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, well, who wants me? You know what I mean? Because they're gonna need votes, they're gonna need numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and he can probably take over a situation like that. But it's all about getting there, and
Yeah.
that's the scary thing. I mean, look how low Lubu got last season. It was down to 2 people. They
Yeah.
did Yasa went all the way down to 4 people. It's like it can get low.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, all of Lubu could have been wiped out because they,
Mm-hmm.
they they waited a while to get to merge, and I think that's kind of what they're wanting. They want to make the game harder,
They
and
want to
then
make
putting on
it
these
like
smaller
that.
tribes, and then making the gameplay more intense and then longer. It's just like it messes up a lot of people if you don't get
Mm-hmm.
that early control. because that's kind of what we saw. I mean, Evie was running her tribe from day one, and then day 13 when they merged, she was at the bottom
Yeah.
because you have control over that specific moment. But then what happened? So,
Mm-hmm. Child.
oh, I have the next pick.
You have the next
So my
pick.
next pick. Now this is I don't know how I always feel about her, but her saying she's a super fan really sold me. So I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
with Drea.
Okay, interesting.
Now, Drea, I feel like Drea's upside is definitely Sydney. I forget which season that was in, but she was someone who was extremely athletic and she had a good enough game sense that was got her far. I believe she only went home. Like it wasn't anything she necessarily did like wrong that sent her home, from what I can remember. And I feel like she is going to be in a position where like that, like she's going to be very useful to the tribe. She speaks about providing for the tribe a lot. Everyone loves that. She's
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be great at competition. So I think that's going to probably put her in merge most likely. And it's just the only thing with her is I don't know. I can't really predict where her game sense is going to be because a lot of her questions I feel like were kind of like what she can do for the tribe and
Mm-hmm.
and how can she help other people and things like that. I want to see some more self interest, but I do feel like she's someone that can make a deep run in this game and potentially win depending on how she is playing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have a lot of like faith in her, like for real, for real. I don't see like because who wouldn't want to work with her? You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting. She said she want to play like Kelly Wentworth. I wonder is she gonna have that kind of like because Kelly Wentworth was kind of cutthroat to a bit. Like if she
Mm-hmm.
gives
She
that,
was.
you know what I mean? That's gonna be interesting to see.
Yes. I like this pick. I had Drea like at the bottom of my people who had potential to win. So like I had like a
Mm.
good eight. I want to say eight people who I was like, or nine. I was like, okay, they could win, and then everybody else I was kind of like, mm. And she was at the very bottom because I wasn't sure, like you said, where her strategic, self interest was going to go. It was a lot of
Mm.
positive. I feel like she can get along with a lot of people in the tribe. I feel like she could provide. I feel like she can do good at the competitions and stuff to get her far. But at a point, you're going to have to become a strategic person in this game. And that's the only reason why I was hesitant to put her a little bit higher. I think she could have that in her. She is a super fan. She said she was a super fan.
Yeah,
So that's what made me confident to put her up there. But it's still like not confirmed. So it's just something I gotta kind of see. But I still liked what she was saying, and I liked all of her like I don't know. I liked her comments about how she was going to be as a tribe member, how she was going to be in the game because she kept talking about providing, like you said, and I feel like that's just going to get her far naturally. I feel like her personality seems neutral, which is good for Survivor because she doesn't seem like someone who's loud or someone who's going to be seen as a threat even. And I feel like
exactly.
I feel like it's a lot of good things. So I like the pick.
Oh, look, hold on. I just see another thing. Pet peeve: dishonest people. Girl, you know what game you going into? Lord, I picked her too
See,
early.
there you
I just
go.
picked her too early. She finna disappoint.
I had her a little
Oh,
lower, but I still think it's a cute pick.
no, yeah, you know, because like I said, like honestly, I feel like there's a lot of duds. I'm not gonna lie, and she's one of the
Hey.
better people. So like that's like you said, like the top eight. Like she's in my top eight as well.
Mm-hmm. The next person I picked is Romeo.
What?
Crazy, right? I knew you was gonna.
Wait,
Uh-huh.
Romeo?
Romeo. I'll explain.
16 for me.
Really? I think you got that wrong.
We'll see, baby. We'll see.
Okay, I'll just say how I felt. Romeo was giving very sociable. I felt like a lot of people would like him. I felt like he knows how to make people like him. When he was talking about his life experience, it made me feel like he's someone who is able to socialize in a very strategic way because he seemed like smart and he seemed aware of his struggles and aware of how he got out of them. He mentioned the reason he wanted to play this game is because he's always been surviving and stuff like that. And I feel like having that kind of motivation is good for the game. The people who want to play like Sandra, Sari, Parvati, those are positives that I like. It makes me feel like he watches the game. I feel like he can be strategic. So I was hoping for the best. Um, but hey, that's kind of all I can say. I just felt
See,
something in him that I liked. And I felt like I don't know, I felt something in him. I was like, it's kind of felt,
Girl, that must have been a fart because I don't know.
See,
I just
you
don't
said
see it
this
because
about Tanisha, and look how she's doing. Great. You said this about Helena, and
she's
look
still
how
like
she's doing. Great.
I'm still looking at her outside of my eye. I'm still looking at her outside of my eye too. Like I just feel like
See,
Romeo gave me, and I could be 100% wrong, but like I said, like call me that's a Raven, but I feel like I was reading between the lines with him.
bye.
Like even in his answers, like oh, like why do you believe you could be a soul survivor? Because I know the I know I can be the final survivor because I am likable enough and persuasive enough to convince people to vote for me. I just feel like okay, you said it,
Mm-hmm.
but can you do it? A lot of things in his videos like, well, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this, and it's
Yeah,
like, can you do this though? And honestly, like I don't know,
I
like his
see that.
personality, like I wasn't really feeling his personality. It was giving me very like diva, like I'm a diva, and I don't know. I could be 100% wrong, but I
I
just feel like
I see that
reading
too,
between a
though.
lot of his personality, I'm like, I don't think people are gonna like him. I don't really see him. It gives me very much, like I said, comparison
He
to
works in
41.
pageantry, though. I feel like everyone who works in pageantry are likable.
But he
Bailey's
works.
likable.
Maybe he'll be good at being fake.
That's
I don't
good.
know.
That's good for Survivor.
But it's like I don't know. But see, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It like this one's just kind of like a feeling I had. Like kind of you have a feeling that he's gonna be good. My feeling is like he's not gonna be that good. Like I could
Yeah.
be reaching for him this low, but I definitely didn't put him that high. And I also feel like you know how like Ricard last season, like he didn't have a lot of connections of his own. Like I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's why he's gonna fall into. Like I really don't see too many
Okay.
people. I don't know. It depends. It really depends. He could go on there and shock me, but I don't see it
Yeah.
for him. I just don't.
I fully see where you're coming. Not fully. I see where you're coming from, though, because I can see a dud in him. I won't say I can't see a dud in him. I can see a dud in him, but I gotta take a chance. You gotta take a chance sometimes. See, look, my strategy in the past has not been giving me the wins. I have to switch it up.
Well,
It kind of
you
worked
be
with
better
BB
than me.
Can. I was taking risks. It kind of
You
worked.
already lost a person, so I don't
And
know.
you're losing one
Um,
this week.
not by choice.
The not by choice. Oh, and who's your next
So
pick?
my next pick, and this is solely because I feel like she's like honestly, like I feel like the winner has been chosen. Minus Romeo. Don't know what the fuck that pick was. I feel like the winner has been
Bye.
chosen. The next two people are going to be people who I think can do well. After that, duds. I have no idea how they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to necessarily do well if they do.
Interesting.
But the next person I pick is Lindsay.
Okay.
Now, I have a note next to Lindsay because while we were watching the videos, I was like trying to take little notes to see like what can I say, and all I put next to her was crazy because she seems very
Yes.
eccentric. Like she even said like, yeah, I just have to make sure I calm down and just everything will be fine. It seemed
Mm-hmm.
like, girl, are you a little bit off? Are you a little off your rocker? Like she is from New Jersey, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Like it's like I feel like I just feel like she's gonna go crazy out there. I don't know. Like I just don't think she's gonna be able to. Kind of like saying with Romeo, I just don't think she's gonna be able to do the things that she feels like she wants to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do think her upside is that she is athletic. I can see people being like, "Oh, she's gonna be useful to camp." She gives me someone who's gonna be, you know what? I can see her being
What you can see.
a Christmas from
Oof.
Big Brother. Like, very good at the physical things, okay at making social connections, but there's this little crazy side to her that really messes her up. And I can see that for her. She was giving me like frantic, like when she was speaking, it was like really,
Yeah.
really quickly and just, it was a lot at once. And I think her personality could come off as a bit much. And I feel like if she goes on, I can see her kind of playing really, really hard. And all I'm saying is negative, and I'm picking her. But I do think,
Literally.
because the thing is, I feel like the winner has been picked. I feel
Okay.
like she's better than most people on this tribe because mainly with physical ability alone, I think she'll be able to outlast some of these people. Because, like I said, early on, it usually tends to be how well are you in competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you have a Evie who's changing that narrative. But even on Lulu Tribe, the weakest in competition went home first. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's going home first because she probably can do really well in these challenges. But it's like when the game really starts going, I just basically think she can get outplayed easily.
Yeah. I got that same erratic thing from her. I was like, ooh, she's gonna be very, very unstable. That's how it felt. It just felt like she was gonna be
Hmm.
very unstable in the game, and that she was gonna be erratic, and that it was gonna probably make a lot of people feel like, ooh, calm down. But I had her like not too low. Actually, she was like in the middle of my thing because I was like, the fact that she has like positives, it seems like she'll do well in the comps. It seems like she still can be a social person. It'll just be easily lost, I feel. It seems like she can be strategic. It'll just be very erratic, I feel. It's like I think she can do the things that are required. It's just gonna be a lot and it could easily get her gone. But I'd rather someone who can at least do them than some of the people who I feel like can't even do them.
Won't even be
So
able to do them exactly.
exactly. So that's why I had her kind of at the same spot that you did. And I'm excited for her. I don't want to say that I don't think she'll win. I can't see her winning. I just, based on previous perception, I can't see her winning. I can see her being just too erratic. And even if she's erratic, I can see her becoming so erratic throughout the game that she's the GOAT at the end because
Hmm.
of her perception is become the GOAT. So I don't see her winning the game, but I can see her doing something.
I think another positive too is that I feel
That's
like this
good.
season is going to be a very much, as with honestly a lot of seasons moving forward with the BIPOC rule, of heavy woman influence season and a heavy
Mhm.
like kind of like queer player type influence season to where it's
Mhm.
like um there's just gonna be a lot. I feel like they're gonna be the main ones moving the strategy this season. The women in the people of LGBT community. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like
Mhm.
there's kind of like even Romeo has more of a game sense than a lot of these people. I put him low just because I don't think people are gonna like him. But like when it comes to like
Mhm.
game sense, a lot of the women and the queer people they seem more like they know what they're getting into.
Yeah, I
So
felt the
that could
same
be
way.
really helpful to her.
Yes, I felt the same way. Um, I like her. I'm hesitant. I was just hesitant. That's how I felt about her. I was like, okay, she seems like she has the basic understanding, but in general, I was like, ooh. Um, my next pick is Omar. I got all the gay guys. Love that. Love that for me.
Okay.
I picked Omar because
He was number 10 for me.
I picked Omar. Omar was scary for me because I felt like a part of him seemed like he didn't have um he was missing something. I don't know how to explain it, but it seemed like I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too confident when picking him because I was like, it seems like he might be in over his head a little bit about some of the things I feel like he was hoping for. And it seemed like he was just like a
Hmm.
little bit, he was missing a little bit. But I still like the fact that he's a fan. I still like the fact that he talked about strategy in his video. A lot of his answers talked about like some of the things he wanted to do in the game, and I feel like that means he was game focused. He talked about he trying to be strategic and manipulative and stuff like that. Which I feel like if anyone's going to at least try, then they're probably going to be a little bit better than the other people. I actually have a lot of hope for him. I feel like he is a potential winner. I feel like he is someone who if the game goes in his favor or if the cards fall correctly, that he could come out a winner. If that makes sense, I feel like it would have to be some luck involved. That's kind of how I feel about him. But I'm not fully out on him. I still have my cards on him as if he could be a winner.
I see that as well. I feel like honestly, like it depends on how the game goes.
Yeah.
Um, I think he would have to definitely hit the ground running. If not, he could get left behind in the dust. Because whoever, and it's gonna be really interesting when we see the tribes. Whoever, like, let's say he's gonna try with Chanel or
Mhm.
Tori, you know
Mhm.
what I mean, or Roxroy, or there's a lot of people who I feel like could take that power position from him, and he could be left on the outs. And I don't know, like with people who are big fans of these shows going in, it's like, yeah, you know so much, but how will you be able to apply it? And I feel the same way with him as like a lot of people on this list. Like, I don't see you being able to do the things that you say you want to do, and
Yeah.
that scares me. However, if he is able to get into a good position, I do think that he has the ability to outwit a lot of them because knowing the game already puts you at a higher level. So if he is able to get in a good position, I do think he will be able to push a lot of the strategy. It's just I think there's gonna be a few power players this season, and the people who like the Omars and things like that, or like a Lindsay or a Drea, they're gonna have to like take them out. And will you be able to do that?
What I like about Omar goes into what you just said. I feel like Omar is the smart player who won't be considered a power player. Like Erica, the winner of last season, kind of like all of the power players got out,
Okay,
and the one person who
that makes
was
sense. I see that.
the smartest person left, who wasn't a power player, won. And I can see that for Omar. I can see Chanel, Tori, Ty, Rocksroy having to go because they're the power players, and Omar being the last one left. And it's like, who else gonna win but Omar? I could see that for
He could
him.
just pick up the pieces and take a run
He
for
could
it.
just pick up the pieces, and I think that's the vision I see for him. But that being the only vision isn't that good, which is why he wasn't like the first pick. But I do see that for him, and I can also just see the idea of him being the second hand man to a strategy. If he gets the cards dealt right to him,
Yeah, I
and
can
he
see that.
becomes the second hand man, that first hand man probably gonna go home. And now it's like, ooh, he's at the end. He's probably at top five. All he has to do is get two, three pieces, and then he can make it to final three and win. So I I think he has a potential. I think he has a possibility more than the other people on the list who haven't been picked really. Um,
Yeah.
so I like him. I like him.
Like, like I said earlier, but now I really feel it. Minus Romeo, the winner has been picked. Like, I don't really see it for anybody else.
I think I see it for one other person, but it's a small see it. I don't even want to say that because you're gonna talk
What's
about
going
me.
on?
You're gonna talk about me. Who's your next pick? Child.
My next pick, and this is my kind of like dark horse pick. I don't know. I really like her. I'm gonna go with Swati. I do
Okay.
feel like okay.
You
So
almost stole my pick.
you know, I do feel like she is young as hell. She's only 19.
Mm-hmm.
And historically, the younger players that come into Survivor, they just don't have that game knowledge. With Swati, like, I feel like her background, it, like, similar to what Romeo said, it really did prepare her for Big Brother because it's like, minorities in general, like, you have to face so much diversity in real life. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
she seems like she's 19, but she seems like she's gonna be miles ahead when it comes to like understanding the game, understanding
Mm-hmm.
other people. I mean, she's what, in Harvard, Yale, one of
Mm-hmm.
them. Ivy League girl,
Mm-hmm.
19. Like, so she knows she's a very. I think she's definitely gonna know what's happening. It all depends on what kind of position can she get into, and if she's gonna be a passive or a dominant player. I feel like if she plays more dominantly, I think that's gonna be the new way of play Survivor, especially if they're doing 26 days again. You gotta hit the ground running, and I do
Mm-hmm.
feel like if she kind of just starts that, it could be good. However, the downside is that she said, "I want to lay low and then start acting crazy."
Mm-hmm.
She mentioned Chaos Cast being one of her favorites, and it's like that's interesting on one end, but is it because like will you be like Chaos Cast? I don't know,
Yeah.
but I just feel like she's just a really smart girl, and I feel like she has a good head on her
Mm-hmm.
shoulders, and I do feel like people can gravitate towards her. I don't see her being someone that the tribe is like, oh, she has to go, especially like
Mm-hmm.
if she can be. If she can use her smarts to win these puzzles, they're not getting her ass out. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I can see her if her strategy works to lay low, I can see her really turning it up in jury. I really can, and I
Mm-hmm.
do think similar to like Erica, like what you literally what you just said about Omar, like not the power player, but she could get to the end. She probably could win.
Mm-hmm. I like Swati. Swati was my next pick too. She was like it was giving Hannah Chada upside. Like you can be
Ooh, yeah, I see that.
that young smart girl who, if the cards get dealt right, gets into a position of being, one of the power play or one of the top players of the season. I like Swati. I thought she was smart. I thought even though
Like
she's
if she
young,
teams up with a
the
Chanel or a Tori, oh
yes,
baby, she's gonna be a 10 player.
yes,
If
the
she's next to someone who's running the game, Swati could really eat.
I agree. The only reason she I couldn't put her highest because she's 19. 19 is young.
Yeah, that
Like
scares me.
19
Ooh,
is
that scares me.
young. Like I'm young and I'm not even 19. 19 is fresh out. Well, she's in Harvard. I'm talking about fresh out of school. No, she's in
Right.
Harvard, but still 19 is still young. So
Ivy League.
there's something different with the younger mind. Like we saw it last season with Xander and what was that girl name?
Erica.
The young girl, she's black. Liana, Xander and
Oh,
Liana. We saw it with them. They were both in the game, but it was just
they were
something
out.
different about their. It was something about the life
They didn't
experience
have
that
a
they
good
didn't have.
understanding of people.
Yes, it's like, and that's just natural with age. I feel like you cannot go away with that unless age ages you up. Even Hannah kind of had that. It's just something about the
Inevitable.
age that limits your full on view of people and of things. I think Swati can get over that hump, but that's just it's just a hard thing to get to look past when trying to pick somebody, and that's why she's just not can't be really much higher. But I still liked her.
Exactly. If she's like 25, oh, she would probably be up there with Chanel and Tori for me.
Yes, 100%. I could see her like if she was like 25, 26. I could see her being a Sophie. Sophie, I love Sophie, but the way Sophie won, I could see Swati winning if she was older. But she's just not. Um, but I like her though. Nice girl. Seem like so. The next person I'm probably gonna pick.
Sorry.
You're good. The next person I'm probably gonna pick is a little bit. I can hear you a little bit. The next person I'm probably gonna pick is Lydia. Don't judge me. Are you gonna judge me?
No, I like Lydia. Like
Okay.
personality wise, I really like Lydia a lot. Like that's my girl. Like I feel like I just love Lydia. I love her personality so
That's
much.
my girl too. Okay, I picked Lydia because of the people left. I felt like at least Lydia said she wanted to play the game. I didn't like
Yeah.
the like something about her was saying was giving loyal. What did she say? Oh, she wanted to play like Tom, honest, and all of that. But she also mentioned Sari,
Yeah.
so I like that. But a part of her, it seemed
Yeah,
like
but
she
it
wanted to
was giving
be.
fan favorites.
Yeah, a lot of her made me seem like she wanted to be loyal and honest and kind,
We ain't got time for none of
and we don't have time for that. But you can win like that, which is why I'm like she's not that like it's not like Erica was just a backstabber. You can win like that, but it's I feel like it's harder. I feel like people who usually want to play like that are less strategic and less within the game. But I still liked her, and I still felt like she had some type of knowledge of Survivor in general. And I feel like
that.
just that simple knowledge is going to help her get to merge. I can see Lydia merge. And if you can get to merge and something can go right, you can get the win. And I like those odds better than some of these other people. And that's just really why I picked her. Can't go more into it, to be honest. She's a
I feel
waitress.
like I
She
love
talks to
Lydia a
people.
lot.
She's social. I like that. Sorry,
I love Lydia a lot.
but
I feel like in IRL, she would definitely be my bestie. Like I feel like we could talk, laugh, giggle, but I do not see it for her in the game of Survivor. I do not see it for her in the game of Survivor.
no.
Um, I don't think she's going to be as physically inept as she needs to be, only because she didn't mention going the fact that like she said like I haven't been camping or anything like that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, you finna be in the wilderness, child. And it's like I said, a lot of people get kicked off because they're not good at the competitions. That happens for a lot of people. And if you're not in a
Mm-hmm.
situation to where they're valuing your loyalty over that, you're screwed. I mean, Tiffany, lucky. Last season of 41, she was so lucky she had Evie on her tribe. Tiffany would have
Mm-hmm.
been out. Okay, the way she was performing in those challenges, she would have been out. And she scares me because she didn't mention, oh, I'm good at puzzles. I'm good at this. Like so, it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, that's really bad. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, like she only really mentioned being friends with people and da da da. Like her player is Tom. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Tom's a terrible player, but it's like it's been 41 seasons and your favorite player is Tom. Like, girl, what is going
Yeah.
on? I feel like I'm gonna love her watching him in the show, but she gonna be out. She gonna be out.
Uh,
That is definitely giving pre-merge for me. Like it's definitely giving that. But I do think I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see her play. I'm excited to see her play. If she gets in
okay.
any position to where she's able to play this game, I'm probably gonna love it.
I'll give you that.
So My next person, and honestly, he was way lower, like second to bottom. And then we were going through more of the videos, and I was like, oh, he has to go way up because he's really not that bad. He was bad because he was like the first video we watched, but still.
Hmm.
I chose Jonathan. Chose
Interesting.
Jonathan. Now I moved him up because, like I said, I do feel like there's a lot of duds this season, and he's kind of one of the ones that shined out. Like he shined bright like a diamond. He was a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I'm happy I still got him because I. What happened was he got mixed. I just skipped him in my list because I squeezed him in, and I'm happy I got him now. Because it's like I do feel like he's big, he's beefy. Love that. I do think he's going to be great at the challenges. I do think he's going to provide for the camp. People are going to love that. It just depends. If he gets on a tribe where, let's say he gets in a tribe with, the thing is, there's a lot of gamers in this cast. He doesn't seem like a gamer, and that's going to be his downfall. Because if the gamers in the cast don't see him as something they can use, they're going to toss him right out. The positive thing is maybe a high can use them. Maybe we haven't picked them up yet. Maybe Mike could, Mike or some maybe Zach could use them. It'll be really interesting. I mean, Omar, like he seems
Hmm.
like someone who people are going to want to use to get further into the game, which
Hmm.
puts him in a pretty good position because if that person gets taken out, well, who's the next best person to win? I think his archetype has won before. It could definitely win now. He seems like someone a lot of people are gonna like. He doesn't seem like someone who's gonna play in a way that's gonna make people bitter. I mean, if he's like, there's been situations where the person who just won competitions and caught everybody food wins the game because, well, he hasn't pissed somebody off and they feel like he has a good story and things like that. And I do feel like he's someone that, like, that's kind of how he's going to go in with it. I didn't see too much game sense, which scares me, but I don't I don't see him being locked out of game conversation. Like I just don't really see it happening unless he is targeted early on from the way he looks.
Hmm.
But I feel like once you get to talk to him, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't see him as a threat.
I don't
He
know.
wants to play like Ozzy. Like Ozzy flopped like 5 times in a row. It was, I mean, like that alone, I'm like, not Ozzy, child.
I don't know. I feel like I couldn't read him well enough. I had him low, but I kind of just felt like if he was on a I felt like if Chanel or Tori took hold of a tribe,
Hmm.
they would just be like,
He
"Let's
out.
he can go." And I feel what I think is this cast is looking bad for
That's
him.
the guy back
It's
there.
looking bad for him in this cast. I don't see him doing well in
Yeah.
this cast at all. I also think he was talking about how he wants to be a provider, but a leader provider, but a provider, but a leader provider. It made me feel like, is he fully aware of how he
Um.
comes off to people? Does he come off as a provider or does he come off as a somebody who's trying to tell us what to do? I don't know which will happen, but I can see it accidentally being he wasn't so self aware and he comes off as someone who's a little bit more aggressive than he thinks. Um, but I'm not sure. He was someone who I just couldn't really read, but I was just like, you know what? I don't think he's gonna do well in this cast. Also, he has like little. He wanted to play like Ozzy. It seemed like, do you know the game or do you know who Ozzy is? Like, do you just know Ozzy?
Right.
It doesn't seem like he was ready to play the game.
He's
It
going
seemed
to
like he was
that
kind of ready
Ozzy.
to just, oh, I want to see how I'll do on the wilderness. I don't know. I could see someone using him, but I don't even. I feel like even if someone uses him, he's not gonna win. I don't think he has the means to use the stepping stones of the person who is using him to win. I just don't see anything. I see very little, and I don't think this cast is gonna mesh well with him. I can see the girls on his tribe just being like, he can go, even though he's gonna be good at comps because, like I said, because I feel like because um the
He's
game
not the first out.
because the game is so
He's definitely not the
faster.
first
I think he's the first out.
out. Really?
I think he's first out. I think he's first out. Kind of like what's his name?
Risky.
Dr. Voce.
Voce?
Dr. Voce. Like Dr. Voce wasn't the first out, but kind of in a similar fashion of he's providing for the camp, but I don't care. He's more of a threat than so and so and so and so. Voce was doing all the right things, but it didn't
But I don't
matter.
think like he. I don't know. I don't know. He gave me himbo vibes. Like no one's gonna be like, oh, Jonathan out there
See,
strategizing. Like no, Jonathan's out there catching fish. Like we ain't worried about Jonathan ass. And in a
see,
position
but
like that, it's like,
it's just
well,
his archetype. I feel like just comes across as threatening. and I don't think he's gonna be able to actively reduce his coming off as threatening vibe. I just don't see it. I can see him going home early. I can. Maybe not first, but I can see pre-merge. I can see like 1, 2, 3, and now it's like, okay, Jonathan, you can go type stuff. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But who
Yeah.
knows? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
My
It's what, one,
next
two, three, four, six people left.
my next pick is Daniel.
Okay.
Right.
Very shocking to me. He is 15 for me on my list.
Interesting.
15 out of
Um
18.
Something about him was just more. I feel like there was more hope in his game sense than it was in a lot of the other. Well, than everyone else left. I feel like there was just a little bit more hope in the fact that he could play the game. I don't see him getting in a good position
Mm-mm.
necessarily. I don't necessarily see him being able to take control of anybody.
Yeah,
But
no.
I do think that he wants to win.
Mm.
Um,
As they all should.
I tried my
I'm
best.
sorry.
I tried my best. I think he wants to win, but I don't think he wants to win in a strategic way. But just the fact that he's there to win. Um, what do you think?
I mean, honestly, what I got from Daniel is that he's just in the clouds, child. He out there to have fun. I mean, it just that's what it gave me. And then he said he wants to play like Fabio, like
He said he
same
wants
little
to play like
homegirl saying.
Yule and Todd.
He said Yule. He said
He
Yule.
said
Oh, okay.
Fabio, and then he said Yule and Todd. So it's giving. Do you know what's going on, or do
There's
you
like
not know what's going
volleyball
on?
game after
It's
Yule and Todd.
confusing. It's confusing.
Okay.
It's confusing. It's confusing.
He's just. I mean, at the end of the day, it don't matter if he want to play like Barack Obama. No one's gonna. I don't think anyone's gonna work with this man. He gives. Like, he just like he in the clouds. That's what I got. I don't what game like does he? It's like you know the game, but do you know the game you're going into? Like he seems very much like ready to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and I'm gonna like it. I think like I said, it's easy to say these things, but can you do these things? And
Yeah.
it's not given that he can do
He's a law
any of those
clerk.
things.
He's a lawyer.
He's a law clerk.
He's a law clerk. It doesn't give law clerk, but he is one.
I don't see it for him. I really don't. And then same with the physical ability. I mean, I just don't think he's physically enough. And like that's the thing. I'm only mentioning that too is because almost all of these tribes are going to go to the first tribal, most likely. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that first vote, you beating bad challenges could be the end all be all.
Yeah.
And he didn't mention being physically able to do these things, so I don't know, Chad.
Mhm.
I really don't see it for him. Like he was bottom of my list for a reason. I think he's gonna flop down. He reminds me a lot of Omar, like him and Omar. I don't know, like for some reason I
What?
just see them together in my head.
I don't see them similarly in any way.
I kind of do. The only reason I put Omar higher is because I do feel like Omar he can
Oh,
more put the money where the mouth at.
okay.
Whereas what's his name? What's his
Daniel.
name? Daniel, I mean, he's forgettable. Like that. Ooh, no shade, but that's kind of what it is. Like he's so
Ooh.
forgettable.
Now when he win the
And
season.
when he win the season, child, but I don't see it. I don't. Not this one. Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Not now. Who next, child?
That was my pick.
Yeah.
Star, I'm gonna go with honestly the next person. I don't want to go with them because honestly, like at this point, I feel like the winner's been chosen. I keep saying it, but it really has. So
Right.
I'm gonna go with my heart on this one. I'm not going with the list. I'm going with my heart, and I'm picking my sister, Mary Ann.
Marianne was next on my list,
Now look,
which is interesting. So I would have picked her anyway.
now look, y'all. I know because I'm a Mary Stan. Okay,
Mhm.
Mary Stanna. I was in the group
You
chat with
not
my
that
good
much of a
sister.
stan. You picked her what, 10th?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
Damn.
Hmm.
Look, I'm trying to win a draft. I don't know how good Miss Marianne. And you know what? I love her because it's giving very much. I'm just happy to be here, and she is. She's very grateful to be there. She wants to play this game. You could see it all over her face. She's happy to be there. I'm happy to see her archetype get into that game. I do feel like she can be seen as someone found as loyal. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Her, like other people, I don't think she could potentially be that physically inept. She didn't mention having experience going camping or anything like that, so that scares me too. She could fall victim to that. But there's so many people like this in this cast, and I will say that there aren't a lot of. Usually, what Survivor will do, you get a lot of people who like really built or like really physically capable. A lot of these people are like these are regular ass people. Like
Mm-hmm.
period. These are just regular ass people. Like I feel like Marianne, I could live next to someone who looks just like Marianne. You know what I mean? Like I love that. I feel like I love that they're casting real people, and I do feel like if she's in a position where, you know, maybe there's a black girl magic thing going on, and she ends up like she's someone like she reminds me of Swati a little bit to where I feel like if she's next to someone in
Mm-hmm.
power and she's able to see the game board, she can play it really, really well. But
Mm-hmm.
not everyone get that position. You know what I mean? Not everyone gets in that position. She would have to get in it, and can she? I'm not 100% confident.
Yeah.
But I am excited to see her play. Like, point blank, period. I want to see her play. I hope she goes far. I hope she at least makes merge. Call me biased. That's exactly what the fuck I am, because I want to see her go far. And if my
Mm-hmm.
sister can take it all the way, period.
I like Marianne, and I also like that she's so excited to play. I feel like I should have just picked her before the last two picks, but I like that she's so excited to play because it shows that she's gonna be willing to, like, let's say she's just not naturally good at the challenges. She's gonna try so damn hard to
Mm-hmm.
be good at the challenges. So I don't even think that's gonna be a problem.
She
You know
wants
what
to
I'm
be
saying?
there.
She wants to be there so bad. So I think that's gonna help her in the game. It's gonna help her wanna do something, And since she wants to be there, she's not gonna sit there and just be on her ass. Like I do like that about her. And I don't see like necessarily a negative path for her. I don't necessarily have a negative path for her. I don't feel like Mary Ann's gonna do horrible. I just don't. I just feel like since her energy is so positive and since her, excitement is there, that she'll do you good? That she'll do all right.
Yeah, I agree. I'm coming.
So
I'm sorry.
it's okay.
But I 100% agree. I can't wait to see my sister get on this game. I can't wait to see her win it. Period. Mary Stans, where you at?
So I'm not gonna
Mary
lie.
Stans.
Not Mary Stannis. I'm not gonna lie. These last four,
Yeah, like this was a good. This was a good. That's good. That's four. There's only three, right? Please don't tell me it's four.
it's four.
It's three. One, two, three, four.
So this is how I feel about these last four. I feel like I'm finna
I mean, honestly, do
go.
we need to cast them? I feel like this will get a good 14 for the cast.
I'm finna hurry up and I'm gonna say two words about each of them, and we gonna bow out. So the one I pick is Jenny. There was nothing to be said.
Nothing. It was giving me very much Heather. That girl is gonna be in the
It
cast.
was
They're
giving
gonna have to be
Heather.
there.
It wasn't
That's
even
the
good.
thing. First of all, the face is not cracking. Jenny is 43. I swear that girl was
The girl
27
looked
years old.
12. She looked 16. It looks like she's
Like
finna go to
the
prom.
her face looks good. Like she looks good, okay?
And
But she
does
gonna be in the clouds. She's gonna be like
clouds.
those. They do this all the time on Survivor. They like to cast the older woman who kind of just have more life experiences, who really just like, well, this is an experience for me. You know what I mean? And that's
Right.
what she's gonna give.
It
I mean,
is.
maybe she can get picked up as someone because she's a loyal number, but
That's
I
all
don't know. Now,
she'll
one
ever
thing I
be
will
is a
say,
loyal number.
yeah,
And that's
yeah,
it. There's no other path
yeah,
for her that's farther than that.
yeah.
And she might not even be that. She might be an early boot because she doesn't have any connections. So it was given nothing. We go on to the next person. I have no time.
My next pick, I'm gonna choose Jackson. Now,
Okay, that's who
I
was my
like
next
Jackson a
one.
lot. I do feel like a lot of people are gonna like Jackson. A lot of people are gonna want to work with him. I do feel like it's not gonna be hard for him to get into a position where people are like, oh, I can work with him. I can trust him. He's gonna be loyal. Like a lot of these people, it's like they're gonna have to prove their loyalty. I feel like Jackson's gonna make people feel comfortable. They're gonna want to work with him. The only thing is, I think he's gonna be too passive of a player. I think he's someone
Mm-hmm.
who's gonna be the fifth person to the alliance, the sixth person to the alliance, just that person we can bring along. We can get him into final three, and anybody can beat him. I don't know. Like the game sense didn't come there. I mean, who do you say want to play like Elaine? I don't even know her child.
Elaine
Like it's like
child. Elaine
I,
child.
I just like
Elaine.
like
Out
same
of
with like
everybody, it's been 500 plus players on Survivor. Damn near 1,000 players. I don't know. It's been a lot of players on Survivor.
He's
This
so sweet. I feel like he's so nice. I feel like he's gonna provide for things.
that's kind.
He's gonna
That's
help take care of a
good.
lot. But when it
That's
comes to playing
good.
this game, I don't see it for him. I don't see it for
It's
him.
very much so the same thing as Jenny. Either he's gonna be a number or he not even gonna make it to be a number. I see more of a number
Mm-mm.
for him though. I will say I probably should have picked him first. Um, it's giving nothing. I'm not even gonna get into it. Next.
Your pick,
Okay,
girl.
of the last two, baby,
Do we have to pick?
I picked
Which one are you
Maria.
giving me?
I will say with Maria, at least I didn't see her video of her being a flop. Um, so at least
This
I
is
didn't.
actually better for me because Maria is literally last on my list. I was gonna pick Mike anyway,
I
so
feel
this
like
is
Mike
great.
is gonna be first, but we can talk about. I'm talking about Maria first. I only read her bio. Based on her bio, it was giving nobody's gonna like her. I don't know
I
how
mean,
from a bio I can get the fact that no one is gonna like you, but either I'm going crazy or this girl was giving no one is going to like her. She looks young for 47. Jesus.
that makes me look young. Jackson was 48, and he looked like he was in his early
Wow.
mid 30s. Yeah, they were young looking. Like if she told
Girl,
me she was about like 30 something, I believe it.
what you think of Maria, girl?
I just think I don't know. It's not gonna give. It's not gonna give. It sucks because we didn't see her
Video.
video, and her video could be something different. I could love Mario
Mm-hmm.
once I see her video, and
I
that's really what
know.
sucks because for some reason Survivor don't want to post the last video. But I do. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have much to say about her. She's not winning. I would like to say that, but no, she ain't winning.
We gonna talk about
And
my.
you know, and I can say that only
Oop.
because the older contestants rarely win Survivor. Like that's a rare thing. It happens in Australian Survivor, not in no reality show does the older contestants really win it. It tends to
Yeah.
be whoever is in the usual age or just more on the younger
The
side.
older 20s or the younger 30s is the winner, is usually what it is.
Mhm.
Ugh. So, Mike, what is there to
And
say?
then the last person is Mike. Now, honestly, with Mike, I don't know what happened because I had him higher. I honestly had him at 11 originally, but then as the picks were
Really?
going, I was like, I don't need Mike. I don't. It kept being like, I don't need him. I don't want him. I'd rather pick this person. It's given
Interesting.
first boot. Point blank period.
Yeah, that's how I
First boot.
felt.
Like first boot.
It,
If not first boot, no, he's first boot.
yeah, it didn't even seem like he had like a sense of being. I don't know. Like
And you know how you said
I don't
I don't
know.
know if Jonathan knows how he comes across. Mike
Okay.
for sure. All the
Yes,
picks
Mike
show
for
him
sure.
all how he's gonna come across. Boston Rob, baby, you gotta have some charm to be like Boston Rob. Okay,
Yeah.
Boston Rob would have me on that island doing whatever he wanted. Mike, you're not giving that to me, baby. You're not giving me at all that.
He
Like
wasn't giving me at all that. I don't know. I just didn't see it for Mike, baby.
loyal, loud, and fair. Yeah, girl. First boot.
Like that don't even
Three
make
words to describe it.
sense. Damn near,
Loyal, loud, and fair.
baby.
It's giving. You know what? He
It's
reminds
giving
me of
share.
Brad Culpepper.
Brad
Yeah,
Culpepper
Brad.
was a strategic person on the second season. He gets Brad
He
Culpepper the
almost killed
first
himself
time he
because
played.
yeah, Brad Culpepper had to go home and learn how to play the games. Now you
Yeah,
can see how bad he
I
did.
see
He got to
that.
get better. That's the
And
key.
this man is
He is
58. He better work it at
he's
that
the oldest
age.
person. He's the oldest person, and historically, the oldest
Hmm.
person does not win. So that's stats. That's stats.
I don't know if I see it for Mike. I feel like Mike has no potential. Damn
I can
near.
see upside.
I can't even
He's
see an
upside. Like
upside.
there's too many. And this is where I'm gonna call CBS out again. The age differences. I mean, most of these
Hmm.
people are younger, or just like he's twice, three times the age as most of the people here.
Hmm.
Is he gonna connect with Romeo? Is he gonna connect with High? Is he gonna connect with Marianne, Lydia? This is an old ass man. Give him another old ass man out there. The youngest people next under him is 48 in the 40s. He's a whole
Hmm.
10 years older than the second oldest person. Does that make sense, CBS? No. Fix that.
No. Oh my god. Okay.
And that's the cast. This is a long ass
It
cast.
sure was. I'm
Ooh.
ready to go to bed with
If
Survivor.
they had 20 people, it would have been over. Well, I can't wait till some of these people get knocked out. I can't wait till it start because
Yes.
I feel like with Survivor, I never paid attention to preseason stuff. This is only the first time I really paid attention because we're making a video. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really pay attention to it because I do feel like with Survivor, it's more definitely like you ain't gonna know till you get out there. Like this is the
Yes,
wilderness. You gotta deal with bugs,
I
snakes,
agree.
rats, all that, and we really gonna see. I mean, Mara could go in there and run all of them bitches. Chanel could go in there and go home first. You know what I mean? Mike could
Literally.
win. You never know what's gonna happen,
I'm
really. But
excited for the season. Um,
I am too.
I'm really excited. This is a cute cast. It was very much so. I feel like polarizing in terms of gameplay versus no gameplay. But we gonna see. Like you said, I feel like you never really know until you see them.
You have the tribes pick.
I do. Let me pull it up. So we can look at the tribes. The first tribe is Ica. Not Ica. Bye, bitch. Okay.
Okay.
Looking at this tribe. This is an interesting tribe. I don't even know what to say.
Tori does not. I don't think Tori gets in the proposition that I would have hoped for her.
I don't
This
know
is
what to
interesting.
say.
That go to the Zach and Romeo maybe.
I kind of see Romeo
And
doing
then
good in this tribe now that I see the tribe.
I can definitely see Swati, Tori, and Drea teaming up. Roxroy and Drea are definitely teaming up. Whoever.
That's true.
I
This
see
gonna
Roxroy, Drea.
see. I can see Zach first boot now. God damn.
Yeah.
I could see Zach
Romeo.
or Romeo. Honestly.
And that's the thing. Zach is in a tribe where he has nowhere to hide. It's like he's out in the open. Like
Yeah.
I think all those people can really coexist, and Zach could kind of just be to the side. Like, and if he do bad in that challenge, it's over.
Ooh, this is an interesting tribe.
I think this tribe, whoever does worse in the competition, your ass is out. Period. Ain't no question about it. Your ass is out. Because Drea and Roxroy mentioned how they value that already. They want to go and be providers for their, you know what I mean? His ass is out. Hopefully, he's not my sister Swati. I don't care if Romeo goes, but Zach, I'm looking at Zach and Swati. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, me too. And I can see them being the puzzle people. I can see them being like, we'll do the puzzles.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that. So it's gonna be between them. So Swati, can you outsmart Zach? The thing is, I think Zach can outsmart Swati.
I think so too.
We'll see.
But I could also see the tribe just winning the comps. I can see the tribe winning the comps. I can see Drea, Tori, Roxroy, and Romeo being really good physically. I can see Zach and Swati doing them puzzles. I can really see it. I can see the success in the comp wins. The next tribe.
Wait, are these all my people? Romeo.
Let me see. You have Tori. Swati. I have Romeo. I
have 4 people. You have 2 people.
Okay, I have Romeo and Zach, and then you have the other 4.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Ooh, I don't got the better people. I feel like you got the better people. The next tribe, Taku. Ooh, did they set Marianne up for failure? What is this? Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. They set my bitch Marianne up.
You got 4 people. You got 4 people on this tribe, and I got 2 on this tribe also. So do I have the whole last tribe? I feel like I have the whole last tribe, based on that.
You gonna give my sister this dark skin queen,
baby? I don't know what. I don't even know how I feel. Wait, there's like no like. I feel like Omar could. I feel like Omar could be the like mastermind of this tribe though. They don't have a mastermind.
This tribe, Jonathan and Lindsay are gonna click up definitely because they're both big people. They're gonna probably be the best at the competitions, and it depends on who gets put. I definitely see Marianne getting put on the puzzle. Marianne and Omar, maybe Marianne and Myra. I do think Marianne can stay over Mariah, but it depends because we don't really know how Mariah's personality is. We don't. Marianne can freaking go home, man.
This doesn't. I don't think this looks good for Marianne at all. I feel like.
I also don't think it's the best for Omar either. I do think Jonathan and Lindsay are gonna run this tribe.
I can see that.
Damn, I do have. You only have Omar and Mariah.
Yeah, I feel like I have the whole last. Okay, so the last tribe, real fast. I feel like the whole last tribe I freaking got. I have Chanel. I have Daniel. I have Jenny. I have Lydia. I have Hay, and you have Mike. So I have all of them except for Mike. This tribe, I feel like Mike can go home. First round, Mike can be first. First of all, I can see this tribe losing the first one, and I can see Mike going home the first one.
Honestly, Ica seems like the most
That.
strategic field tribe. So it's gonna be very
Mm-hmm.
easy for Chanel to take control of this tribe. Chanel is gonna run this tribe into the ground.
Yeah, I
She's
fully
gonna run
agree.
this tribe into Chanel, and
But
oh
High
my
is it could be
god!
Chanel High
But
damn near being Ricard and
but
Shan damn near and losing
you know
every
what
comp
kills
damn
me?
near. That's what the game.
You know what kills me?
What?
Because I was literally putting my notes that Jai and Chanel, I put to the side link. They need to link up. They are going to link up.
Mmm.
They're going to link up and dominate this tribe. I definitely can see Chanel High and honestly Lydia.
Lydia. Me
And
too,
then
because no one else
maybe
has any game sense. Lydia could do good.
my sister Lydia, she might do good. She might
Mm-hmm.
do good. It just depends because if they lose because she flopped the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
then she could be out. So she's going to have to bring in on them challenges. I do
Mm-hmm.
also feel like this, like, go back to Ica.
Mm-hmm. Ica is stacked, I feel like Ica is stacked.
Aka is going to be the Lubu this season. So you like it's funny because you said that earlier with Zach. He could just be on the tribe that wins. He probably going to tribe that wins. I
Yep.
think the losing tribe is
Mm-hmm.
going to be between the other two. Ika, and it makes sense because the name Ika Wong, strong,
A
strong.
strong bitch. Literally, this is interesting. That's why I like Survivor. The whole tribe division thing, it really kind of juggles things up. You know, like in a natural situation, Taku, what is that? The Taku tribe is crazy to me.
Okay. Like I said, Jonathan and Lindsay, like for sure, I feel like it's linking up. I don't know. Can Omar get Jonathan? Like,
I
that's the
feel like
thing.
Omar is the
Jack,
most strategically apt. I feel like Lindsay is too crazy
yeah.
and Jonathan is too not strategic. I feel like Omar is the most
But see, that's the
strategic.
thing.
But can he get in that position is the issue.
I think he can because maybe Lindsay and Omar can bond over them being fans of the game. Maybe Lindsay and Jonathan they
Okay.
bond up by proxy and it's them being a three, and they just choose between them. Like I said,
Okay, I
if
can
there's a
see that.
puzzle, likely Marianne and Mariah is going to be on it
Mm-hmm.
because Jonathan and Lindsay definitely going to be in that challenge. Omar might be in it, and they can put him up for elimination. But if he's a fan of the game, he should don't let them girls get in that puzzle
Mm-hmm.
because you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be the person in the puzzle to mess it up. Oh, I hope my sister Marianne can
Not your
stick around,
sister.
man. Damn, this is the worst. Because even if Mariah goes first, Marianne's the second to go.
Yeah.
There's no way in
Maybe
hell
Jackson. Maybe
Marianne's the second
Jackson
to
won't be
go.
good at comps. Maybe Jackson won't be good at challenges. I feel like Jackson would be okay at the
Maybe.
challenges. I feel like we gotta hope for the best.
I don't even see. Like, can Marianne even bond with any of these people? I mean, like.
All right. I can see Marianne bonding with
I don't,
Omar. I can see Marianne bonding with Omar. That's it. And that's a maybe.
I'm hoping she has.
That's a maybe.
Hopefully she can get in somehow good with Jonathan and Lindsay.
This is gonna be an interesting
Because that's
little
what I.
season. This is gonna be an interesting little
If I
season.
play Survivor, feeling like I had to, if I wasn't like physically inept, like I would definitely hook up with whoever is the strongest looking people on the tribe. So when the vote do come, oh, I've been in your face all day, bitch.
Literally.
And then like this Vati is literally gonna be Lulu.
It's literally gonna be
Vati is
Lulu.
gonna be Lulu.
No, it is.
Chanel is gonna be Shan, and High is gonna be literally Ricard. Like
The
it's gonna
parallels
be kind
are
of
immaculate. Literally. I
But
see it.
Lydia, I'm happy because Lydia has a chance. I wish Marianne had this because I do see Marianne and Lindsay kind of not Lindsay, Lydia in the same boat, and it feels like Lydia kind of got that chance and Marianne did not, and that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing about it, which is really interesting, which I feel like I kind of want them to go back into tribe twist because it's like Lydia and Marianne could probably be cool because they're around the same age, they have similar personalities, but they're on different tribes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Marianne is from Canada like Drea, but they're on different tribes. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
Mike, look at Mike. I mean, the only older person is Jenny, and Jenny's not gonna be any help to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it sucks because maybe Mike does do better to tribe with older people. Maybe Marianne does do better to tribe with younger people. Maybe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So but that's just the cards they're dealt with. It's all about working through that. I think that's a big thing about Survivor. You kind of Survivor more than probably any other show. You kind of just got to deal with the cards you're dealt.
Yeah.
You really do.
Definitely.
And if you're not able to make it out those situations, you're gonna go home.
Yeah, you got to be very, very mobile in Survivor. Oh, Jesus.
Child.
All right. Oh, that was wonderful.
My winner pick is definitely like Chanel Tori is taking this. I don't care.
I agree.
But
Janella Torre is
I will
taking
say I don't
this.
know because, like I said, I don't think Tori takes over that tribe the way she probably thinks she
I
could,
I,
but we gonna
I
see.
agree. But I think she could. I think she could get to merge and then do some sneaky shit. We gonna see. Um. All right, y'all. That's all we got for
This
today.
is forever. Ooh, how long was this?
This was long. I don't even know. All right, that's all we have for today, though. Make sure y'all join us on Thursdays for the Survivor recap videos. If you're into Big Brother, on
Woo-hoo.
Wednesdays we'll be doing weekly player recaps for Big Brother. Make sure you follow us on our social media on Instagram and Twitter at T Reality Kingdom. Go check out our updates. Go check out our rankings and everything. And there we will be posting the pictures of our draft picks so you can see them more visibly. So go ahead and check us out and make sure you join us on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm out.
Bye, y'all.
Purr. Bye.